You must find the garden. The name is in the garden, and without the name, the mask is worthless.
I know, but where shall I begin? No one here knows where it is, let alone whether it even exists.
It does exist, but to find it, you need the mask. I'm so close. While the most powerful men in Avestan smash heads in the Gorian desert, I'll restore the realm of my fathers, and there will be no one left to stand in my way.
Is this the same garden the staff spoke of? What is Kasim planning? I eavesdropped on the prince. He's looking for some garden. He wants to use it to seize power after the battle.
Surely not the Garden of Oblivion.
You know something about it?
Well, yes. It's just a legend, but they say there's a hidden cave somewhere in the Rashtulian Wall, near the volcano Rashtul Kancharot. The cave bears the name the Garden of Oblivion, because everything that takes place there is forgotten by time itself, whatever that means.
Does the legend also mention a mask?
Yes, there was something about that, but I'd have to do some research to be sure.
That doesn't sound like something I need to concern myself with. If Kasim's attention is really on a cave in the Rashtulian Wall and not on the battle, then he's no longer my problem, so we can safely turn our attention towards our actual goal.
The Garden of Oblivion? Have you ever heard of that?
No, never. But the story gets stranger from page to page. I may be mistaken, but something about this garden feels wrong. I can't say what just yet.
Keep reading.
Admiral Wahim turned a deaf ear to every warning, but I felt the danger emanating from this garden. The girl, on the other hand, had tasted blood. I think she imagined the garden was something that could help her achieve her ambitions. Only she didn't know precisely how.
Well, are you taking me with you or not?
I don't know what you think, Wahim, but I like her.
All right then. We set sail at dawn. Rest until then. The cots in Keshalri are far less comfortable than those here. You've come just in time, Xerxes. The girl has just joined our army, which in my eyes makes her a good bit more sensible than your entire council.
All right. If you vouch for her, as long as she doesn't hurl us all into disaster, I don't care.
He didn't like that at all.
Quite right. Well, back to the fortress for me. Here's to a glorious battle, you two.
I'm going to look round the library a bit. The talk of this Garden of Oblivion has made me curious.
I hear a whisper, like something evil lives there. What's that? In the center of the darkness, there's a pedestal. And on top of that, feels like a lamp. I'll take it. Huh? Did the darkness come from the lamp then?
Xerxes!
Calm down. I'm allowed to leave my room now. What sort of room is this?
A workshop.
And what do you do here?
As an ore elementalist, I study stones and crystals.
And dangerous artifacts.
Those too.
What are you studying now?
An elemental sphere. Don't bother me, I have a good feeling right now. The work is going very smoothly.
What do you know about this mask here?
I don't like it. It gives me an uneasy feeling.
Examine the mask.
Later.
When later?
Please, stop harassing me with your annoying questions. I feel good about this sphere right now. I need to make use of this inspiration.
Have you taken a closer look at the stuff on the table?
Briefly.
And?
It is ensouled. Longer study will show what lies within.
Aha.
The ice djinn in these halls has shown me the way to an ancient text. It's one of the few in which the Garden of Oblivion is mentioned.
And?
It's a travelogue by a mage named Halef ben Jalif. He was a servant of one of the Mogul mages and sent out to find the garden.
Which Mogul mage?
The last of the Moguls, Malakar. Unfortunately, he never found the garden. And fearing punishment, he began to hide from his master's lackeys. He feared that if he were found, they would, here I quote, "First place the mask on me, and then transform me into a lifeless artifact."
What sort of artifact?
Who knows? Perhaps a ring or a bracelet.
Or a staff?
Those old Moguls really knew how to ruin someone's life.
What was his name again?
He was called Halef ben Jalif. I wonder if they ever caught him.
What else do you know about Ben Jalif?
Not much. He was given the mask and sent out to find the garden. That's all it says here.
What does the log say about the garden?
It says that some sort of magic word is buried in the garden. A word that will awaken the true power of Malakar's mask. And that 3 secret chambers will point the way there. The rest is just incoherent nonsense.
Are you sure?
Yes. The search for the garden must have gone to Jalif's head. He babbles that the place was created by an ancient entity, a servant of time, and that Satinav, the Lord of Time, separated the garden from our spheres, so that nothing that happens in the garden would have consequences for our reality. Then there's something about lies that become truth and a hole in the Book of Time. Obviously the inventions of a half-wit.
3 chambers show the way?
Yes, their entrances are located somewhere in Draconia. Keep an eye out for this symbol. You can have the pages if you like.
Thank you.
However, to open the chambers, you need to have the mask with you. Until you have the mask, there's no point in searching for the chambers.
Are you inciting me to steal?
I'm only here to pass on knowledge. What you do with it is your business, and yours alone.
That's enough for now.
You know, I find it curious that you've never heard anything about this at all. I noticed your tattoo. You're a descendant of Malakar yourself, aren't you? Have you learned nothing from your forefathers?
No, I'm hearing about all this for the first time.
And our prince, above the observatory. He's your brother, isn't he? I just wonder what drives you. An uncanny determination glues in your eyes. Either you'll achieve the impossible, or you'll descend into the deepest madness.
I won't be stopped.
I only want to warn you. Please, take care of yourself.
What kind of runes are these?
Oh, those are the symbols of the 6 elements. That rune stands for fire. That's clearly the symbol for air. That symbol represents ice. That symbol stands for water. That's probably the symbol for ore. That's the symbol for Earth, if I'm not mistaken.
Why is it so cold here?
The Library of Draconia is supervised by the Ice Faculty. Writing is like ice. It freezes a moment in time. In this case, for eternity.
I know now who you are. Your name is Halef ben Jalif. You were Malakah's servant. He sent you to find the Garden of Oblivion, but you only made it as far as Draconia. As a punishment, the mask was placed on you. Your memory was stolen, and you were made into what you are now. Yes.
What did the staff say?
It's not written here. The air elementalist could only write down what his spirit observed, not what happened in Saj's mind.
Rats. I've been waiting for this moment for so long, and now this.
So you're a victim of the mask yourself. I suppose I can forgive you.
I would break off my work on the sphere, but there's no good alternative at the moment. How repulsive. How can something so beautiful conjure such ill feelings? Time to devote myself to something nicer. So that's it.
Is there anything new?
The mask is a reservoir. It stores memories.
Sure, by draining them from people.
Yes, but that's trivial. What's really fascinating is that it stores everything which happens around it. It's as though it observes the world in silence and takes note of everything. If we were to succeed in reversing its effect, we would have access to an enormous archive of past times. I have a good feeling about this.
How can the magic of the mask be reversed?
That sort of thing takes time. I would attempt to weave a modification of a reverse Salis into a gemstone and then attach that to the mask. If the spell inside the mask is then recited, it should have the converse effect. Instead of emptying the wearer, it would begin to transmit stored memories to him.
Take this ruby, weave the reversal spell into it, and reverse the effect of the mask.
I told you, it isn't that easy. First, I need to examine the quality of the stone. Possibly grind it again.
We don't have time for that. I want to know what the mask knows. Do as I tell you.
Such an intervention is dangerous.
I need everything I can get my hands on in order to survive in the gore. My life is at stake here, so do it.
You'll now become either completely stupid or entirely enlightened. Fadan faskadan esplasta quatan, umurilor gras ferel goran, hulbe mutir gerul felan, juntir quatan feluntir sudan. Hey,